I think there are several reasons why I come to Mason for economic studies. First of all, because my interest in economics and business and NGO and stuff. You know, Washington D.C. is a perfect place as a world center of politics and NGO. So being here at Mason, it gives you a lot of, network, first-hand experiences and resources to observe and learn in such an environment. And that's my first reason to come here, to Washington, D.C. And secondly, to come into the U.S., as I had experiences, because I think U.S. is a place where you have so many amazing people, as classmates and professors. And also, it's also because the U.S. is a place where you work hard. The institutional environment, it's like if you work hard, you will be rewarded, correspondingly. So even if people are thinking about financing issues and stuff, if you work really hard, and you can find, different ways, assistantship and stuff. So that's another issue, that financing wouldn't be such a big problem here in the U.S. I think that's pretty much like the reasons why I come. First of all would be geographical location. I think because I'm not a science student, so I'm more like this major requires you to interact with a lot of people and then to experiment. And then I think geographic location is definitely one reason. And secondly, I think you will look at the faculty, that if their research kind of interests you. And thirdly, it's a general environment in the university. Since I came back, I've been having this idea of going back to graduate school, but I don't know at what point I'm going back. So I have been keeping an eye on researching the universities and programs that interested me. I would say that has been a continuous, just if I see something interesting, I just, collect it in my pocket. And then I think when the time I officially started my application is probably in September. At that time, starting taking those standardized tests and then asking for recommendations. I would say, yeah, that's maybe like 4 months and 5 months is like a time range that I used to do all the application stuff. One of the biggest issues is to take, the standardized tests. They're really, tough. Especially for international students, like the GRE test, it's more like, we teasingly call it God Note English. So it's very tough, so you better, just do it earlier. So maybe 1 year before the deadline of the university, maybe like January or February or something. And then probably you have to take TOEFL or IELTS. I suggest that you take the tests like half a year before your application starts. And then secondly, you have to think really hard why you come to this program and why you choose this school. That's going to be really helpful experiences for you to write your essay, because you're writing your essay is like something the admissions will see as, they don't see you, but they see essay. They'll think about what type of person this is. So I think that's some advices. In the first semester, right after I came here, I think the second week or something, I've got like this job of teaching international students and scholars their spoken English with the English Language Institute. That's very, very interesting job. And then this semester, I was offered with a graduate research assistant. So that, working is an experience you can learn about yourself more, and also, financing for your tuition and stuff. They give me a lump sum of salary, but can pay off, basically pay off my tuition. So that's good. The process is kind of really complicated. You have to fill out a lot of forms and then to prepare for a lot of visa questions and stuff. I think it wasn't, it was never an easy job to prepare. But as long as you really went to the visa interview, it's not as terrifying as a lot of people think it was. As long as you just behave yourself and let them know that you're gonna to come here to study and stuff, that's not really tough. First of all, I have to hang out with a lot of friends, just saying goodbye, and then I sort of did some research whether I'm coming here to Oklahoma or to Mason. I just kind of do some research about basically living here on campus and off campus, and also in the area. And then I did some, just going through my friends to try to get some connections. I mean, anyone here makes me feel more comfortable because friends are here. I think a lot of people also kind of don't know if they will be comfortable here in the first place because they're worrying about their English skills. So probably it will be good to just keep speaking English, because a lot of my friends are doing that since they got visa and stuff, everything settled. Start speaking English every time, Yeah, I guess there was a lot of details you have to go through, but the UIPS is really helpful. I remember I was just writing emails with an advisor, Erin. I remember, like, if I see my Gmail account right now, I had like 40-something emails going back and forth with her. I actually looked up online and found the Chinese Student Scholar Society Association, and then I sent them emails, and actually they arranged someone to pick me up from the airport. So that's really great. I actually arrived here right on time. I mean, so actually on the following day, I remember, there was the orientation. So on the first day, I was kind of jet-lagged, of course, and then I had some friends, living in the similar apartments and, surrounding areas, and they showed me around because I came here like a week before. They showed me around, and then on the following day, the OIPS staff and, other welcoming offices, they give us really detail-oriented orientations, and then actually the student volunteers just took you around the campus. Before I came here, a lot of students and we sometimes burn out free time with American TV shows and movies. Like I remember a lot of my classmates and friends, we were watching Friends. So that was a really great TV show, but what we thought all the American life is like, the 6 people and the friends and the stuff. But actually when I came here, it's, all the good things and about here is that when you come here on campus, you will suddenly see the overwhelm of, the language and stuff. I think the most surprising thing for me is the maybe academic workload. It's not as, maybe in China it's not as hard. If I'm taking like 7 or 8 classes, but here even if one class, it's like over semester you have like this many stuff to read and maybe like many papers to write. So I think that's one of the academic experiences that surprised me. The information you receive for a single course. And I think also there's another one, is like how welcoming people are. Especially when the first time I came to the U.S., I didn't know, I was confident in my English because I was an English major, but I didn't know, how should I get involved with the community. But actually there were student volunteers and stuff. They all were, organizing different, events and stuff to invite international students coming. I think that was very, good.